Today we're going to talk about 5 simple video editing tips that will guarantee make you a better vlogger or YouTuber filmmaker. So before we get into those tips, I do want to say a big thank you to PowerVision for sponsoring this video. They're a company that makes these really cool phone gimbals, and this one is called the PowerVision S1. It starts off as a power bank and then like a Swiss Army knife, it turns into a gimbal. This is highly recommended for those lighter smartphones. So if you're looking for something that's really discreet and you want something that produces smooth footage, then the PowerVision S1 gimbal is something that you truly have to consider. If you pull this thing out of your pocket, no one's gonna believe that this is a gimbal. All you have to do is open up the lower compartment, swivel out the main arm, and then swivel out the tilt and roll axis. Depending on the size of your smartphone, you may have to balance the tilt or roll motor simply by pushing it forward or backward until it snaps into place, and then you should have a properly balanced gimbal. Not only does it also turn into a gimbal, but it has its little tripod legs built in right into the frame, so you can actually unfold these legs and place it on top of any surface if you want to film yourself. And similar to other smartphone gimbals, this thing has an auto track feature, which is great for those of you who love to vlog. And by the way, I'm giving away 2 of these gimbals. Watch this video and watch my last video if you want to double your chances of winning this gimbal. I'm going to be giving 2 away in total, and all you have to do is watch this video in its entirety, and I'm going to be displaying different letters like this throughout the video, and at the end of the video there should be a phrase. I want you to comment that phrase down below, and that will count as your entrance for this gimbal giveaway. You don't want to miss out on this because this is by far the most unique gimbal I've been using, and yeah, you want the Army Swiss knife of gimbals. All right, back to the video. Let's get on with those editing tips. Now here we are in Final Cut Pro. Don't worry if you're using any other video software. These tips will pertain to those softwares as well. First editing tip is choosing the right music. Have you ever watched a video and you just noticed that it was kind of boring or missing something? That's mainly due because there's no backing track or audio. You want something that's fun, upbeat to keep the pace going, especially if it's a vlog or some sort of other fun hobby video. Get some good backing music. Now, royalty-free music is hard to come by, which is why I only go to 2 different websites such as artlist.io and Epidemic Sound. Those 2 websites supply really good royalty-free music, and you'll be able to monetize your content, so it's a win-win for everybody. So check out those websites if you want that royalty-free music. I usually like to choose upbeat music with a fun beat like this. You know, it's chill, it's got that beat, that bass, those drums, so it keeps progression in the video. It does take a long time to find the right track for your music. Believe it or not, it's probably about 40 to 50% of the time it takes to make your content. Tip number 2 is using hard cuts to cut down on time. For example, I shot this video and showed it to you guys last week. If you haven't seen it, watch it. That will increase your chances of winning that gimbal. But if you notice, I'm pulling out in my car here, and I do hard cuts to simulate time moving by. You don't want to film that whole process of your car pulling out or any other similar action, because that's just going to make time go by so much longer, and that's going to bore your audience. So use hard cuts to simulate time, and this is really gonna punch up your video editing skills. Tip number 3 is the use of time lapses. Yes, this is another tip about time. You don't want your videos to be too long, especially if you're doing a mundane task like driving. So what I did, instead of doing those hard cuts like I showed you earlier, I decided to do a time lapse, and that's basically speeding up time 1,000%. And this is gonna create a really cool effect along with motion blur. Motion blur gives it that more surreal effect, that dreamy look, and especially for time lapses, it just adds that extra cinematic vibe. So again, if you don't want your videos to be too mundane or too long for just simple tasks like driving, use time lapses, use those hard cuts to simulate that time has moved by, because I guarantee you that's gonna make your video that much more fun to watch. All right, next tip is using simple zooms. So for example, I have this clip rolling up on my unicycle, and if you notice, it's just a static clip. It's not moving. It's just a plain old shot. We want to add more depth to this shot. And what you can do is add a digital zoom by using keyframes. So it's the same thing in Adobe Premiere and Final Cut. All you have to do is start off at your widest shot, then go to your keyframes add a scale keyframe, and then go to the end of the clip and add in another keyframe with the scale slightly adjusted. So I started at 100%, and now I'm gonna go to 110%. And now if we play back the clip, you'll see a subtle zoom. And that subtle zoom makes the clip that much better, more interesting, has more depth, and it keeps your audience more engaged in the shot. And since we're on this clip right now, I wanna talk to you about overlapping audio from future clips into previous clips. So let's watch this and I'll show you exactly what I mean.
Now we stopped at one of my favorite overlooks in my neighborhood.
So if you notice, I took the audio from this clip that you're looking at right now and basically overlaid it to the previous clip. Now don't forget, you have a limited amount of time for a viewer's attention, so why not use these audio and video editing tricks to help conserve time while continuing to tell a powerful story in your vlog. So keep these editing tricks in mind, and I guarantee you it's gonna make your videos that much better. All right, now back to PowerVision. Don't forget that if you enter that phrase in the comment section below, that automatically enters you into the giveaway for the S1 from PowerVision. Definitely should be called the Swiss Army knife of gimbals. I think I already proved to you why I think so. But yeah, definitely increase your chances of commenting on this video and on the last video about this gimbal. I'll link that video in the cards somewhere up there. And also let me know what you do to enhance your vlogs as well. So if you also want to learn more about the PowerVision S1 gimbal, check out the links down below. And something I started doing lately with some of my videos was adding some blooper reels. And how can you have a vlog or an instructional video without some bloopers? You can't. It starts off as a simple power bank, and then it completely just awkward. It starts off as a power bank, and then like a Swiss Army knife, it turns into a gimbal.